Hey y'all, this is Corey here with GROOMING Get It Done. We are transitioning into spring. Summer will be here before we know it, and I wanted to give some updates on my routine, my bald head care routine. So this will specifically be for beginners and also for folks who may have some sensitive skin. Let's get into it so that you are set up for success. Real men get it done. All right, so before we get into the routine, let's talk a little bit about this process and what we're trying to do. Oftentimes, when we're doing our bald head and trying to make sure that we're right, the clippers or the razors that we use can cause some irritation because they are cutting too close to our skin. So our whole goal in the prep work and even during the process of trying to maintain it and get it to its bald status is that we're trying to reduce that irritation on our scalp so that we have a nice clean cut and that we don't have any irritation to worry about. So I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about some of the tools and things and then show you my process to get you right for your bald head care. All right, so I kind of flip my routine into three parts, kind of what I need to do beforehand, like actually during and kind of after. So my first step is starting off with just washing my hair. That's the first thing that's gonna do to kind of remove my debris, remove the debris and anything that's in my head to get it into a nice clean follicle. And truth be told, I honestly just use the exact same thing that I moved into phase kind of 2 with, is the Walmart version of Neutrogena facial cleanser. So it's cleaning my scalp, getting the follicle all nice, and then I will actually move forward with my second step, which is trimming the rest of the hair down. So making sure it's as close as possible, but you need to be careful with the tool that you use. I find myself honestly using a clipper. You can use a clipper with a guard closed to get that close shave, but I'm gonna give you some game. I actually have the Manscaped tool. If y'all don't know, if y'all heard of what this is to get your sensitive parts, whether it's your underarm hairs or our nether regions. But this is a good blade, and honestly, it's very sharp, but it's very safe because since you're using it on those areas, it cuts close, but doesn't give you any nicks. So I honestly been using this to kind of get my hair down to a nice stubble, so that it's nice and clean. And then I follow that up by washing it again. Because again, I'm trying to make sure I'm removing any debris, anything that may be on my hair and getting those follicles as clean as possible. So I go back to my Neutrogena, and then this is when I actually exfoliate my head. So the importance of that is, okay, we pre-washed it, then we cut it down to the stubble, then we actually get a chance to do a deep wash on it and exfoliate the skin. And what that is doing is it's getting the hair to stand up. Even if it's cut down low, it's getting those hairs to stand up to prep me for my shave so I can get the closest shave as possible. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and dry my head and move forward with the actual shave routine. So my number 2 go-tos in terms of that are my Gillette Skin Guard shave, and then I will also use Neutrogena sensitive skin shave cream. So this blade, I love it. It only is 2 blades, and these bumpers really help to give you a nice decent cut, not too sharp, and because of the sharpness of the blades will cause some of that irritation. So these blades really protect so that you can go over your skin and not make any irritation. Oftentimes, people will go for the blades of the 3 blades, the 4 blades, the 5 blades, even sometimes the single razors. I've kind of tried a little bit of all of them, and they just cut a little too close and they create some type of irritation for me, and I hate that. So I've had extreme luck and success with this product, the Gillette Skin Guard. I'm gonna have all of my products listed in the description so that you can click on my links and grab them and everything. But this has set me up for success for the past probably 1.5 to 2 years that I've been using doing my bald head care. So after I got my shave done and I got it nice and close, the thing that I follow up with is a little bit of alcohol. That's just my cup of tea that I love, just using a little bit of alcohol, and then some Bump Patrol. Now this is their new formula. To me, it still works pretty decent. It's maximum strength. They changed it a little bit. The old school blue one that they used to have, this is clear now. Still works pretty good, but I still love the old school Bone Patrol, the blue stuff. I would have awesome results with that. And the thing you have to be keeping aware of, you have to know your skin. So with some of these things, I'm giving you my routine. You're gonna have to find out what works for you. But these are some of my trouble spots that I found on my head that I want you to be paying attention to. When I get to the back of my neck, below here, this is my most sensitive area. So I will use the clippers to make sure I get this nice and low. And in terms of shaving right here, I may only go over this pass once. You know, every other part of my head is not as sensitive. I go over maybe 2 times and I'm good. But this area, I try to get it as low as possible so I can only go over it 1 time. I will only go over that part 1 time because that's where my sensitivity lies. So that is my full routine, my pre, my during, and my after to make sure I am reducing any possibility of having razor burn or having any nicks or scrapes. And so now I'm about to get into the routine, show you real quick, and then show you the finished product. Let's get into it. Real men get it done. All right, so that phase is all done. A couple of things that I failed to mention that I just remembered. Yes, with this process, you see how close it gets it. You may be good doing this. If you are a beginner, you may be good getting a product like a Manscaped tool. And I'm gonna throw my link in there because I have an Amazon link for the older one. They have a newer one. The older one's a little bit cheaper, save you some money via Amazon. So check out my link. But you may be good with this to get that very low cut where it's not going to give you some irritation, and be okay with this and not have to necessarily use a skin guard, Gillette skin guard for your process if you're new and if you're a beginner. However, also, this is game for if you still want to do a nice cut in between your shaves to make sure that you're right. Since I have sensitive skin, I do not shave every day. I don't shave every other day. I only shave 1 time a week to make sure also I don't have irritation by just shaving so much. So maybe what you could do is rotate, do 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off, and switch your tools to eliminate some of that potential irritation that could occur as well. So I mean, as you can see, this is pretty smooth and a pretty, you know, good low cut already with just this Manscaped. So if you're looking for a tool out there or looking to upgrade, I would definitely say get this, because then you can take care of everything. The top of your head, your pits, and then your nether regions. But this tool is dope, and I love that I found out that it really cuts nice and close, and it doesn't really cause any irritation at all because of, you know, where you're gonna potentially use it, all those sensitive areas. So wanted to make sure I shared that, and then I'm gonna keep it moving with the rest of the process. All right, as I'm finishing up with my routine, a couple of things I want to point out. So my alcohol is in here. I just like a little extra protection. It stings a tiny bit, but just gets me right before I put my Bone Patrol on. So as you saw, a couple of things I did there. I pay attention to my back. As I said, when I went below, I only gave 1 swipe. I rinsed my blade off every time, and I let the actual blade do the work. Wasn't applying tons of pressure, just letting the blade glide across there and get a little bit of that hair to reduce the irritation. Again, you also saw me, I went with the grain, what it's called, and then I went against the grain. So mostly everybody's hair grows in some type of natural pattern. For mine, the sides grow really down. That's where the way the hair grows. The top of the hair grows front to back to front, side, and then the back of your head is gonna go, you know, back and down. So that's the direction I went with first. And then this is a little bit of a more experienced move, but I trust that you can be safe with the Glide because it's not going to do that irritation, at least depending on if you have a sensitive or really sensitive area. Mine is the very bottom of my neck. So I wouldn't go over it twice, as I mentioned, only once, but the rest of my head I went over twice. So going with the grain, and then I was able to put some more shaving gel on and then go against the grain to get a little bit more of a closer shave. And that's when you saw me bringing it this way, and then at the top bringing it this way, versus when I started, you know, I went with the grain, front, back to front, back to front, side, side, down. So that's a little bit of a tip to get a little bit of a closer shave with this actually Gillette guard, because it's not going to shave as closely as some of the other ones. But that's a good thing for us with sensitive skin, and if you're a beginner, that's a good thing. So got my head with a little bit of alcohol on there. It's actually rum. In your beauty stores, it's called rum, or it can be just regular alcohol, but that's what I have in that bottle, a little bit of rum. And then I finish it off with my Bump Patrol. And I try to do my routine, me being perfectly honest, at night, so that I can go ahead and let this sit in my head and not be stressed out about putting any products on my bald head, you know, just to kind of make sure I can reduce that irritation. So make sure I'm not having to go nowhere. I just got the fresh baldy. And then, you know, at night, I'll be good, let it all dry. And then I may not put any product on my bald head until the next day. And mine is really simple. I just have a little bit of oil that I use, olive oil, tea tree oil, just a tiny bit of oil in my hand. And then I actually just rub it in my head. Also, since I do have a beard, I have beard oil. So sometimes I'll just use the excess from my beard oil and go ahead and rub that into my head, and I'm good to go. So there we are, y'all. That is the bald head care routine. It's feeling nice. I'm not feeling any stinging, which is a good thing. That's a tall tale sign that you went too deep, or you're gonna have some irritation if it's stinging after you're done, and I am not stinging, so that is a good thing. So that's all I got for this routine. Keep following me along this journey, and I'm gonna bring more content and continue to connect with you guys about beard care, about hair care, and also all things fatherhood, because real men do get it done. Till next time, peace and blessings. I'm out of here, y'all.